Reach out to me on Insta. But Big Daddy, I don't get on Insta. But I'm glad we're here. Do you have the Billy Cannon jersey on? Is that what you're repping right now?
We're repping, man. We're repping right now, man. The throwback on right now. Gotta rep
I
the
dig
Billy,
it,
baby.
What does a player got to do to get a Jay Haley jersey up in the studio? What's a player got to do?
All right, we gonna make it happen. We gonna make it happen. We got each other's contact now, so now we can make some magic happen, baby.
I love it. Well, Jay Hill, I greatly appreciate you joining the show. A lot of great stuff that we can talk about and we can go off here. Obviously, the biggest news is Jayden Daniels, and I know that me and you had talked about it on your show earlier on Hunt and Hill about Jayden Daniels, and I thought that you had a really good comparison about Jayden Daniels. Tell everybody what we kind of were talking about, what you see in him, and what you think he's going to be able to bring to LSU.
Yeah, so I really hadn't done much watching of Jayden Daniels. Obviously, I haven't watched a ton of Arizona State football, but I've done my research on him. Had to cram some research on the kid and really see what he can bring to the table. And, man, his arm really shocked me, man. He made some really beautiful throws down the sideline of the field, which is what you need in college football, especially when you get those one-on-one matchups. I think now he's going to have the best array of receivers he's had. I know he played with Brandon Ayuk before, but something about that Kayshon Boutte, man, I think he's different, man. I think that dude's different. So he's going to have the most weapons he's ever had. And I think his ability to run the RPOs and his ability to use his legs. He had 700 rushing yards last season, so he can pull it down and run with the best of them. He's probably the most dynamic quarterback that we have in the building right now when it comes to that. So watching Denbrock and a lot of the stuff they ran, a lot of the RPOs, a lot of the option running with the quarterback. Obviously, they're telling their quarterbacks take the easy yards there, man-to-man coverage. He can do all of those things. So if he can learn this offense, really, the competition is going to be at an elite level now. I think kind of you can pencil in, shoe in Miles to be starting quarterback before Jayden Daniels enters that quarterback room. I think now that competition is just going to be through the roof, and I think it's going to be beneficial for all those guys in that room to really get better and really grow and really see who the dog of that room is going to be.
Jeremy, I think that you have a unique situation that you can give a viewer that I can't. Look, I knew from a very early age I wasn't that good. I wasn't playing in the league, but you did. And being around a locker room when an organization drafts a guy that maybe was in your position, or maybe one of your buddies, they draft somebody from his position. What does it tell a team or an organization when you make a statement like that and you go get a quarterback out of a portal? What would you be feeling around the locker room or just yourself when a team pulls something like this off?
Yeah, it just lets you know that the people in charge, and for LSU, that happens to be Coach Kelly, has to be Coach Denbrock. They feel like they can get more from that position. They need more. Obviously, you're adding another player. So if you are content with what you had at the time, you kind of stand pat and you kind of roll with the guys you have. But obviously, they're sending a message that, hey, the quarterback room's open. And I'm sure if a guy takes his talent from all the way from the West Coast to down south Louisiana, there's something there. And I think that can't go ignored. So obviously, Jayden Daniels, he's feeling like he's going to get a prime opportunity to compete for the starting job, to be starting quarterback of LSU. And I think everyone in that room, they know that as well. And they have to do their part to make sure that doesn't happen. So I think it's kind of just writing on the wall. So I think everyone can see it, from the kids in that building to the fan base, to all the students at the school, is that we're going to compete. And that's kind of the message that Coach Kelly's sending, especially when you go after a quarterback after Miles Brennan decide to come back.
Jay Hill, I know that we have a long time to talk about this before August gets here, but look, spring's right around the corner. I mean, literally 20 days and we'll be at our first practice, right? But when you look at this offense and you talked about, the Kayshon Boutte doesn't grow on trees, but I would make the argument in Louisiana, like guys like you and guys like Jarvis and Odell, that might be a little bit of a difference. Maybe you can say that they grow on trees here, but when you look at this offense, do you – I don't want to and I asked Carter this the other night, I don't want to overreact, but do you see that this offense could be really good and really dynamic and maybe push some SEC and statistics at being one of the best offenses in the league?
Yeah, I think obviously I got a chance to go in the building and really kind of see kind of the stuff. I don't want to give out too much, but I can tell you what, it's going to be a lot of the stuff you saw in some old Cincinnati film, a lot of Notre Dame stuff. It's going to be a mixture of both. I think also they got coaches from Georgia, so you got to see a little bit of some of that sprinkled in with the receiver coach, Coach Hankton, being in the building. I think they're putting all their brains together. I think that's kind of the biggest thing I took away from being around those guys. There's no one guy is right. No one guy has all the right answers. They're taking a little bit from everyone, and they're trying to put it together and kind of see which really works best. So I think for me, I can expect a lot of RPOs, a lot of stuff where the quarterbacks may be using their legs. They're going to be trying to get the receivers the ball on the outside, and I think they're going to try to get the run game, back on the scene in Baton Rouge. I think that's something that we've kind of missed, especially after the parts of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You just really haven't seen it on full display. So I think they're going to try to be a lot more balanced, really make teams pick their poison and play a winning brand of football, kind of something we haven't seen here for the past 2 seasons.
Let's stay on the running game very quickly, Jay Hill, because Darren just asked a good question. He says, hashtag Ask Jay Hill. How much easier is it for a running back when you have a quarterback style such as Daniels in the running offense? Jay, and I don't know if, I know that in college you played with Zach Mettenberger, our good friend, been on the show. He wasn't necessarily the light foot kind of guy, but you did play with guys that could move, right? Play with some guys in Cincinnati that can move. How much better does it help you, though, when a guy can move? Maybe a backside defensive end doesn't crash so hard. Does that help the running game when you have a guy that's so elite with his legs?
Yeah, 100% helps you, especially in the read option game. You got
Right.
a guy that has the threat of pulling it, especially in the run and the passing game. It always puts more pressure on the defense. They got to spend more time during the week making sure they're stopping their rush lanes, especially in the read option game, the RPO game. Just adds a whole different dynamic and perspective for the defense to really have to look after. So I think for LSU, he bringing in Jayden Daniels, he does bring that. I think he's obviously the most dynamic when it comes to pulling it down and using his legs. He's shown that throughout his whole career. So you could see why Coach Denbrock or Coach Kelly would want to have a guy like that in their offense.
Staying with that running game, and Jay, I'm not going to put this on you because you've been a running back at LSU, but I will go there. Going to practice and seeing a guy like Jeremy Hill, watching a guy like John Emery really battle, okay, and doing the things that he was doing last season, although he had some, stuff off the field. He never pouted. He never complained. He was at practice. He was working hard. I feel like he could be built in this kind of system for a breakout season. Is there anything that maybe you've told John or any conversations that y'all have had? And what do you think? Do you think he could have that breakout year that he's looking to have?
Yeah, man, I actually got a great opportunity to talk to John and kind of be that mentor for him. Obviously, he didn't have the academic year he would have loved to have last year, and it kind of put him behind the 8 ball going into last season. But I think this year he's kind of realized everything that's at stake, the opportunity that's going to be in front of him. It's the opportunity of a lifetime. You're a 5-star running back from the state of Louisiana, and you really haven't been that bell cow back, and you get an opportunity to do that this season with a brand new coach and a brand new offense, and you could really make your name for yourself in college football. And I think he really understands that now. To me, he's the most explosive back we have on this roster right now. His ability to hit his head on the goalpost. I think everyone remembers his touchdown run against Alabama. That doesn't really happen against those Bama defenses, and that's just the type of explosiveness he can bring to an offense. So I'm excited for him. I think for me, I really took a lot from him last season when he wasn't eligible at all, and he's continued to come to practice every week, giving great scout team looks, coming in the building, putting that work in. I think that's going to really come to dividends this season when he gets an opportunity to play.
He caught a ball on the flat at practice and made a little yeet. He made a little move, goes up and scores. And I'm kind of looking around at people, and Jake Peets is kind of like looking around. We're like, dude, he's got it, man. Like he's got that talent. If they can utilize him, dude, it could be next level. And looking for him to have a really good season. But Pooh Bear asked in the YouTube hashtag Ask Jay Hill when he thinks about his career at LSU, what game stands out the most. But Jay, this was our thumbnail for tonight. I gotta show you this game right here against South Carolina. The toss dive, baby, 50 yards to the hizzy. But look, maybe what to you though was the biggest game for you at LSU? Which one did you like the most?
Actually, I'll agree with that one, man. That game for me, it answered a lot of questions for me internally that I had. I've talked about it. My boy Carter's in the chat. Shout out my boy Carter Bryant in the chat in the house.
Absolutely.
We talked about this story, when I was on his show, and just me being like 6 running back on the depth chart going into that season, and really, they were talking to me about redshirting, and a good thing that Porter wasn't around. I might pull Elias Duran and go to Bama. Who knows what would happen? But, I was down on the roster, man. I really didn't have many opportunities to play, and that was really the first opportunity I got pushed on the scene. And I didn't actually start that game. I kind of got it going in that game, and Coach Miles and Coach Frank believed in me to continue to give me touches. Got that one in the fourth quarter, and I knew, man, Tiger Stadium just totally erupted. I knew I could be a player. I knew I could possibly play at the next level, and that kind of took me off as a player for my whole career.
I listened to that interview, and that's why we used it as a thumbnail. And look, I played with Terrence McGee, who was a part of that running back room, and just even hearing him talk about you, and it's like, bro, I might be good, but this guy's different, and like you see that, and you were able to display that in that game. And I just think it's so awesome. And hearing from your perspective how that is. Jeremy Hill, former LSU running back from Hunting Hill, catch him from 12 to 2 every Monday through Friday on 104.5 ESPN. Jay, one more question, and then I want to kick some other sports stuff around with you. Moving over to the defense very quickly, we did talk a lot about, though, the offense. Dude, they got some ballers on that side, though, and they got a pretty damn good front seven. Jay, I've come out and said that I could make the argument that they might have the best front seven from a whole standpoint, maybe in the SEC. I mean, am I going crazy there? Do you believe a little bit of the same?
Man, look, I think you put that little cherry on top, and that cherry comes by the name of Harold Perkins onto that group. And obviously, with the guys you got back with Michael Baskerville, so you feel good about the second level with the linebackers. You're going to play a guy who's got a pencil in for 100 tackles, I think, with Michael Baskerville, and obviously a hungry freshman who already said he wants to be a freshman All-American. So that lets you know how he's coming into town ready to play, and we know the athlete that he is. And that's not even getting to the defensive line. Obviously, getting Mekhi Wingo over from Missouri for freshman. All SEC guy. I think Mason Smith has potential to be an All-American. That dude's a freak. He got moved all around last year, which kind of set him back to me, in my opinion. I think he's best served as a 3-tech or a 5-tech and let him rush guards and get upfield and do his thing there. I think you got PJ Ojolari coming back, Ali Gay coming back. They're loaded, and that's not even talking about Jaquelin Roy. Obviously, you got Joseph Evans. Like it goes on and on. They're stacked. It's going to be a very, very stacked defensive line room. They can come at you in waves. You can actually make lineups, run stopping lineups. You can make pass rushing lineups. Right. You can kind of mix and match and kind of do your thing. And we've seen the D lines who really dominate. Those are the defensive lines that kind of can be balanced. Some games, some teams may have to run the ball. You can get your guys that can stuff the run, and some teams may want to drop it back and pass it. And you got those pass rushers too. So they're going to be multiple. And I think that's kind of what Coach House wants to bring. If you kind of watch Kansas City's defense, they give you multiple looks. They rock and roll their safeties, and that D line tries to get after you. So I'm intending on seeing that.
I am too. When you hold a team like Alabama to 6 rushing yards, look, Jacoby and Guillory goes out against Kansas State, picks a man up and slams him down. He did me like what Fletcher Cox did my big ass. Okay, so look, they got talent up there, and it's going to be crazy to see. Now, one thing we talk about Coach O a lot, the one thing he did really well is he recruited that front seven, and they're really talented. So I'm really looking forward to that. But we'll see. Jay, ask you one more question before you've been out here. You've been fantastic. I got to talk about you Lakers, man, because I'm tired of seeing two things. Now, number one, I'm tired of seeing people talk about LeBron, got his AARP card and all that kind of stuff. The Lakers are a little struggling right now, but did LeBron make a statement the other night going off for 56?
Man, dude, one thing, just being a kid, I got to kind of watch LeBron's whole career from rookie year on. I feel like I watched the whole thing on front row view of that thing and kind of just saw him mature as a player. To me, just who he is, it can never go overlooked, man. That dude's an absolute stud on and off the court. He's a freak of nature. He's just one of the best athletes this world has ever seen. When you go a guy that's 6'9", 250 plus and can do the things he can do on a basketball court, he's a load, man. And it's been special to watch him. I know a lot of Laker fans weren't happy to have him in the town, but if you would have been a real Laker fan like I've been since I was probably 5 or 6 years old, we had a lot of stretches where it just wasn't good. And it kind of feels like we're back to that when we're kind of, stretching with some of these older players we have, taking minimum vet deals. And we got Russell Westbrook in town. Sorry, Russell, I know you follow me on IG and Twitter, but you Westbrook it up, my dog. We got my boy Westbrook in town, and Anthony Day-to-Day Davis, man. He can't get in the lineup. We got my boy on the injury report every week. So it's been tough, man, for my Lakers squad this season. But LeBron's been a godsend, man. You definitely got to shout out the King, man. That dude's unreal.
Look, so my father-in-law, before he passed, rest his soul, got us 4 side seats for the Cavs Pelicans game. Now the Cavs wind up losing, but bro, when you see LeBron in like person, you ain't gonna say nothing to that man to his face. Like, like people trying to talk trash behind us, and then he gives that little stare, and then he steals the ball, goes down and dunks. And my wife is like, "Oh shit!" Like this is that kind of level of stuff, and it was really fun to see that. Last one though, Jay, I promise. Zion comes back. The Pelicans on a roll. What do you think about that situation? Are you like me, or are you just kind of wanting to wait and see how all this plays out, or you seeing something that might translate? Maybe they might go on a little bit of a streak here.
Yeah, I mean, the Pelicans have been playing well. I think the addition of C.J. McCollum has helped them out a ton. As
No
far
doubt.
as Zion goes, man, I don't know. I don't know if the beignets, I don't know if it's Maya. My boy's been getting it. But I think if he really wants to be in New Orleans and he really makes the sacrifices you need to be a superstar and really leads your organization to the playoffs and to a championship, which a lot of people kind of wanted when he's the number one pick and all the potential he's had, I think that team has a ton of potential. Obviously, they got all of our draft picks. I think our next first-round pick is probably in middle school. On the algebra test right now,
right?
Because they took all of our first-round picks, but they got a bright future right now. If they can get Zion playing at a high level, it's nothing but up for the Pels. Because I love C.J. McCollum. We've seen B.I. play at the All-Star level, and Jonas Valanciunas, that dude's a stud at the center position.
He is.
They got some pieces over there.
Completely agree, and we'll see. Look, maybe CJ can get him going. Maybe some leadership, some stern leadership will get him going. It'll be good to see. Jeremy Hill, Hunting Hill, 12-2, 104.5 ESPN. You can go watch him on YouTube. That's where I go watch him. I'm always in there trying to comment and really glad to sit there and listen. It's been some good baseball talk too with you and Hunt. It's been really good. But brother, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll have to do this again really soon.
Look, if you can find us a picture, that'd be great for the baseball team. We could use one right about now. Other than my boy Blake Money, man, we looking light right now.
Well, look, bro, my eligibility's up, and I can't